My event in Philadelphia is done. Now I'm going home to Washington, D.C. I won't be motivated to sightsee there, so I expect this video to be much shorter than the previous ones. Exton, Pennsylvania is the whitest place I've ever been to. It's so white that I'm considered black. I was at a diner and there was a Mexican laborer wearing a landscaping shirt, and I looked at him I'm like you, bro. We're outsiders here. This is exceedingly white. I think I saw one Indian family and that's it. I thought this must be Trump country because it's so white, and nope. I went online in 2016. This is a Hillary County. I don't get white people, man. Now, this town isn't perfect. It's mostly centered around shops and commerce. There's not even sidewalks. Everyone's in cars, but it's pretty nice. A lot of people would kill to live here, and what do the white people here do? They vote for global homo. They vote for sodomites. I don't get them, man. Are they so guilty that they think voting for the communists makes them better people? I don't know. But I don't think they understand what they have. But they will soon enough once the rest of the United States, places like this, turn into the third world. You'd think with all the churches and churches built on top of churches and the Amish and the Mennonites that Lancaster, Pennsylvania would be this holy place, but nope. Maybe the people who live in the suburbs and the outer areas are very God-fearing, but the city itself is, global homo has been here. Just mostly boomers and freaks. I saw a man dressed up as a woman sashaying down the street. It failed the public library test. I couldn't even use the bathroom in the public library because homeless men were clogging it up, taking a crap. I went 3 times to pee. I couldn't because homeless men were occupying it. I think I have a bladder infection now. you go.
Hey, see the pony?
Oh, yeah. I just had the Amish experience brought to you by Target. It's a great metaphor how the modern world encroached on this old farm. I took a buggy ride by an elderly Amish man. I tried to draw him out, get him to wish for cleansing fire upon all the homosexuals, but he didn't take the bait. He was just a nice old man. You know, I think if you live on a farm, if you have a generally good life, you don't really get conservative as conservative as if you see evil directly in the face. So I think that's why so many of these Amish and the Mennonites, they're so nice, because they don't really experience evil because they don't participate in it. But I've seen evil.
Take the next right onto Nicolau Road, T679. Continue on Nicolau Road for 3/4 of a mile.
Oh my goodness.
Puppies. I went to Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and stayed with a Mennonite family at their dairy farm. The wife, as part of the bed and breakfast, she cooked me a breakfast of fresh baked biscuits, scrambled eggs, and apple pancakes cooked in a iron skillet in the oven. And also had a glass of raw milk too. And it was so rich that I went into a food coma that lasted about 3 hours. And I wasn't hungry for 9 hours. So this is food that you need when you work on the farm to keep you going. It's the fuel. But when you sit down all day and type at a laptop, it puts you to sleep. I also went to have a dinner at an Amish family's home. There were no power outlets anywhere, and they hooked up a air conditioning unit to a battery. And they had 8 children, which in the Amish world is maybe slightly above average. All the children, they were helping out. They were working as one cohesive team. None of the kids complained when their mother asked for help. They had a corgi puppy, which was the highlight. Food was great. It was really, again, thick, rich food that you need when you're working all day. So I got knocked out again. And I see them as really family-oriented Christians. Like, I thought that they'd be weird, naive in some way, but no, they were just good Christian people. And I think that, they found some kind of middle ground between the secular world and joining a monastery, becoming a monk. Because in the Orthodox world, if you don't fit in the secular world, then you don't have many options except becoming a monk. But here, especially the Mennonites, they don't avoid technology, though they have the same modest dress as the Amish. They seem to have found some kind of balance, and I really respect their way of life. They were open towards me talking to them, but didn't force their ways upon me. Their women don't have smartphones to go on Instagram. They don't take selfies. They don't put makeup on. They don't wear fake eyelashes or wear tight clothing. Really modest, so that it forces you to look at their inner beauty instead of just a snapshot of their outer beauty that a woman would want to show a man to announce her sexual attractiveness. I think I have a good idea of farm life now. I think I know what it entails. It's hard work. And I'm also seeing the two different kind of America. The city life where people pursue entertainment and sin, and the farm life where people pursue nature and God. And the Amish, they have nearly doubled in the past 20 years. Their population has nearly doubled. So it's clear that they don't need technology. They don't need cars. They don't need air conditioning. They don't need Facebook or Instagram. They don't need it. And their population their population growth is way higher than the secular Americans who have all the technology of the world at their fingertips. So technology is not needed. Who would have thought that pursuing nature, family, and God would lead to stronger population growth in families than not? So that's what they have going on. And I really respect the way that they're able to resist the evils of the modern world, and I pray that they can continue doing so. And lastly, the Pennsylvania country roads are great. Sweet home country roads. I mean, those roads were a lot of fun. Just got to watch out for the Amish buggies, but a lot of fun, a lot of twisties and curves up and down. As long as you don't mind the farm smell, just looking at the rolling hills, great stuff. So, onward. race. This is Trump country. About 55% of people voted for Trump in 2016. I saw my first Trump flag since I left almost a month ago. And here it's so quiet. The roads are completely empty. The old town is very peaceful. There's no noise. There was a gay flag. This town has a stage 1 HIV infection. That's when a private business or private home puts the gay flag up. Stage 2 infection is when a church has a gay flag. And stage 3 is when a city government or public library puts up the gay flags. And stage 3 is full-blown AIDS. That means that the patient will soon die. So really you want to cut it out at stage 1. Get the treatment going. But here the one thing is that the lanes are wide, so I can doze off and fall asleep and I'm not going to hit anything because there's so much room. It's very comfy to drive. Here I'm seeing real conservative people. And real conservatives are a little bit rough around the edges. They are not up to date with their fashion. They seem uncool. And I feel even more as an outsider here. So, but other than that, people are kind. It's the type of place where they say hi to you when you're walking on the sidewalk. Even in the center of the town, people leave their doors open. And what's weird is you don't have to drive very far from a liberal town to get here. You know, even in a blue state like Maryland, there are still very red counties. Cecil County, Allegheny County, this is Hartford County. So really it's not accurate to look at states as blue or red, because even in the bluest states, you're going to have blood red counties, and this is in California too. So it's better to look at the United States by county instead of by state, because the big liberal cities in a state will give you the wrong impression. So I lived near Havre de Grace for a long time, but I never came. And I'm glad I did, because this is one of the best towns that I have been to. And I hope they can block that HIV infection and stay that way. Kensington, Maryland is a small suburb in the Washington, D.C. area with very expensive houses. I actually lived here for 2 years. I rented 2 different houses and lived with a lot of people. The reason it's expensive is because it's located near Washington, D.C., but as you saw, there's a main commuter artery that goes through it that really means nonstop traffic. And they've tried to give it this old town feel. And while the houses are nice, the common areas, the commercial areas are nothing to be excited about. But if you want to live in a suburb and you have over $500,000 to buy a 2-bedroom house, I think they're more now, then Kensington is a good choice because it's only about 15 minutes away from Washington, D.C. But most of the suburbs in the Washington, D.C. area, especially in the Maryland side, are not as good. That's the best suburb that you can get. If you go more towards the Silver Spring side, which is where my parents live, it is a combination of Africa and Central America. Some of these Africans and Central Americans are very nice people, very God-fearing people, but they're definitely changing the fabric of the communities. You don't hear English as much there. So I'm pretty close to Washington, D.C., so let's go deeper in to the center of Global Homo itself.
That's why God got to come and bring fire to America, like the Bible prophesies, man. America is evil. America is evil, man. And they hate anyone that tells the truth about their evil actions and their murders, man. And my brothers and my sisters who hate themselves, and they feel better when they have...
Roosh. Modern versus traditional.
Washington, D.C. I've tried to escape this city many, many times, but I keep getting drawn back to it. That's what happens when your mom and dad live close by. So I know this city is going to be a part of my life for a long time to come. But I'll say this, it's not an ugly city. There's a lot of green. It's not dense because there's a height limit on how tall the buildings can be, only about 8 stories. It's pretty. It's clean. It doesn't smell. The traffic is typical, but not that bad. It's in some ways, it's definitely better than Philadelphia. In many ways, it's better than New York and Boston. But the girls, I would say the girls are less attractive than New York and Boston. Once you get past the city itself, the beauty of the city itself, the problem really is the people. This is one of the most liberal, it draws in the most liberal people from around the United States. But what kind of liberal people? The ones who want power. So it draws in these people who grew up without power and now they want power. They want to rule over other people. They value these status games. So you're bringing in the worst of the worst. But at least during the summer, I remembered for girls, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. You see a lot of girls in their skimpy outfits. Some looked fine. You have an international mix of flavor. You don't get bored. Every weekend you can hit on a new nationality. So it's very expensive. If you want to play that game, you're going to have to pay $1,500 and up for an apartment. At least salary is good. But yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to encounter much worse than Washington, D.C. There actually wasn't many homeless people even. There were some, but not as much as Philadelphia. So I can say a lot of bad things about Washington, D.C., and I think I could make a career out of it. But the fact is that only when you don't compare it to other American cities of its size can you say a lot of bad about it. Because when you do start to compare, I think you can do a lot worse than D.C. The Maryland suburbs, which I also spent time in, it's slowly becoming the third world. I'm going to learn a mixture of Spanish and Swahili soon to really blend in. But the Washington, D.C. event went well, so that's 4 for 4. And Columbus, Ohio is next, then Chicago after that. If you want to join in on Roosh's peace tour, go to roosh.live. So, see you.